Into week 2 in college football, a week that featured Penn State almost losing to Bowling Green, a week that featured a game that we both called that Texas would smash the ever living daylights out of what's left of Michigan, whatever Jim Harbaugh left them in a rubble. Notre Dame losing to an unranked football team.
Notre Dame's college football playoff chances are over. Um,
Well, what if they go undefeated the rest of the way?
they have to hope that USC is highly ranked by the end of the season when they play them. Otherwise,
That's fair.
no, it doesn't matter. They're at Purdue this week. Whoop-de-doo. Um, this is Notre Dame's fault because they got too cocky and they're like, oh, we don't need to be in a conference. We can be independent. Well, now you don't have the benefit of playing in a conference championship game. So that's your own fault. And oh God, did you and I ever call the Michigan game? Holy crap! That game was over in about 10 minutes. And as a Penn State fan, I have no idea what happened with that Bowling Green game. I don't know. I I don't know. I'm kind of like, okay, they are a MAC level team or a MAC team. They're coming into Penn State, Beaver Stadium. You should destroy them. Why are you having such a hard time with them? Why? Like Ohio State.
The James Franklin syndrome.
Yes, it is definitely the James Franklin syndrome. Trust me, I'm not picking them to beat Ohio State this season. No.
Let me say this. You already mentioned Ohio State. We talked about this a little bit last week about how, I want some more conference play early in the season. Big 12 started doing that. I think Utah and Baylor, I think somebody I know in the Big 12 matched up this week in conference play.
Yes, it was Baylor and Utah.
Ohio State, for whatever reason, they get 2 cupcakes, and then this week they get a bye. What's up with that this early in the season?
Yeah, Penn State's got a bye week this week too.
Why?
I don't
just
know.
Started.
I don't know.
Your bye week is playing Bowling Green, and you lost almost.
Yeah, I know. And then Ohio State gets to come off their bye week, and they play who? Marshall.
Whoa. Oh, okay. I like the Super Conference. I think it's made college football already more exciting. But you got to get these games early in the season. I told you last week, give me Ohio State, Penn State week 1, right out of the box.
I mean, yeah, Alabama is a 10-point favorite, but I love that Alabama is going into Camp Randall and playing Wisconsin.
At least it's something different. And hell, at least Texas and Michigan played. It felt like 2 big brands, even though Texas destroyed them.
Yeah, like this week, Michigan is playing Arkansas State. Whoop-de-doo. Like
Joe Klatt, for the record, said during the Texas-Michigan game that Texas is this year's Michigan.
Okay.
The team who 2 years ago, you remember, got robbed in the national championship, did not get there. They were so close. And then they came back and they just steamrolled everybody. That's Texas this year. And I completely agree with them.
Yeah, I could.
I think the only team that challenges Texas is probably Ohio State right now. Because for the record, what the hell is Oregon? They almost lost again.
Yeah, I don't get it. And they play at Oregon State this week. But I'm just looking at all these big brand teams, and I'm like, grow a set and play each other. Like, Ohio State, why are you scheduling games against, like, Marshall and Akron, Western Michigan? Why not play, I don't know, Alabama? LSU is available. Play them. Like, hey, Penn State, why don't you play, I don't know, like a Virginia Tech or play Miami?
Well, because they almost lost to Bowling Green.
Okay, fair. But do you get my point though? It's just like I get it. Like these little schools, they get paid like $2 million, $5 million to go generally get their ass kicked by Ohio State, Alabama, Oregon, Georgia, the big schools. I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, Tennessee, grow a set, go play Ohio State at Ohio State. Like no, when Ohio State did their home and home with Notre Dame these past 2 seasons, it was great. Like, and both games were pretty good to watch. I'm like, why can't we do that? Like, I
Yeah, outside of Penn State almost losing to Bowling Green and Notre Dame and losing and Oregon barely, holding on. This week was a bunch of blowouts again. I mean, even Colorado got blown out by the next Patrick Mahomes in Nebraska.
yeah, and I mean, Kansas Illinois was a pretty good game.
Yeah, but neither of those two teams, I'm talking about the actual good schools. Like, you think neither of those two teams are anywhere near a national championship?
Oh no, but I'm just pointing out that like, that was a pretty good game. I'm just pointing that out. But I do get your general point.
College football, they finally figured out they have to have big games, but can we do a big game weekly? Like, I think one of the problems with the Big Ten new media rights deal is you got to make Fox happy, you got to make CBS happy, you got to make NBC happy. There's not enough games for every network.
Yeah, I personally I liked it when the Big Ten was on ESPN and ABC. I loved it when Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit would call Ohio State, Wisconsin at Camp Randall.
Well, you're more of a primetime guy, and I get it. I'm actually more in favor. I like when the big game, especially for college, is the 3:30 game. Personally,
I'm also in favor of that. I agree with you there.
I kind of like the big game at 3:30. That way at night, there's not a ton of big games. You can watch the West Coast games. You can do whatever you need and get ready for football on Sunday.
Yeah, but if it's like number 2 against number 1,
Georgia, is it Georgia and Texas, I think, who play in like week 8 or week 9?
I know Georgia plays at Alabama soon. That game's obviously going to be, prime time nationally televised. I think Georgia plays Texas soon.
I want to say it's late October, early November.
I can look up Georgia's schedule.
So that game is October 19th.
Yeah. So you got October 19th in Texas, and then September 28th, you got Georgia, Alabama at 7:30 on ABC, because that's number 1 against number 4. I love that game's in prime time.
Georgia, Texas will be a preview of the national championship. You heard it here first.
I could definitely see that for sure.